Hey there, friend! Welcome back to the Closing Chapters podcast, where every mission has a story. We heard about a family that came from England. The wife came ahead, signed for the house, got it all situated, had amazing friends in the neighborhood that loaned them a vehicle, helped them get everything settled, and then husband and daughter came later once the house was all situated. Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are pushing forward into July of 2019. So as of July 3rd, 2019, I got to close a deal that made it an official family affair. What does that mean, Brittney? Back a couple months ago, we heard about a family that came from England. The wife came ahead, signed for the house, got it all situated, had amazing friends in the neighborhood that loaned them a vehicle, helped them get everything settled, and then husband and daughter came later once the house was all situated. So really cool, right? Well, there happened to be a house being built right next to theirs, and they had their brothers come visit and help them move in. Well, naturally, one of them works from home, is really good friends with the whole family, and he can be wherever he wants to be. And so he decides it's time for him to buy a house right next door to his sister. How cool, right? So, and he was buddy with the husband, and I think it was a really cool thing for all of them all the way together. So he says, hey, can I get this house? And I was like, sure. Have you ever talked to a lender? And it's just like a conversation where it was like, oh, it's all good. He makes more money than I do type of thing, like from one family to the other. And I was like, well, it takes a little bit more to buy a house than just money. But anyhow, it was really interesting. Sure enough, he was totally fine. He was pre-approved, and we were able to get him in this house. So it was really interesting. And it's the first and only time that I've had family members that are living side by side that I've gotten to help represent, which is really neat. But yeah, so when we were talking about it, like the whole conversation was, will my souped up cars fit in this garage? Where can I fence in the backyard? He was a critter guy. Like, he wanted to be able to have his animals and stuff like that. So it was really cool, ultimately, to get them all situated. And they also had a pond behind their house. So, like, basically they made like a conjoined backyard situation where it was like both of the yards was just one massive yard for both of them, and that was really neat. But it was like he wanted there to be friends in the pond, and sure enough, there was friends in the pond of the alligator variety, and they were usually taken out of the pond by the HOA. Like, usually most people were very scared of that, and he was like the weird anomaly where he was like, let me set up my hammock and watch the alligators, like they're my friends, so it's very interesting. But on a flip side, would you ever expect the HOA to be the ones going out there and handling getting alligators out of a pond? That was really new to me. Now, in my office, the HOA company was run from some individuals out of my office, and one of the individuals was a hunter, and he was all about like getting his hands dirty. So I think it was a personal preference that he could go get the tags and handle it himself, but still really interesting all the way around that he was just going out there and getting alligators out of a pond. I don't even know how you would begin to do that, but all in all, we got this guy a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath house right next to his sister and his brother-in-law and his niece. Why did he need 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths? He didn't, but it was where it was meant to be, and he could afford it, so he did it. So this just goes to show that sometimes there's not always like a true reason or rhyme to the house you pick, other than simply like it works for what your purpose is. So this guy was completely a bachelor, had no like preference on what was really going on with his house. As long as he had space for his vehicles, he was good, and he just wanted to be next to family and have a good time. So I hope that this is a little bit like freeing to you, rejuvenating to you to say, like, hey, if there's a priority, then let that be the priority and the rest will fall into place, right? So, like, if your priority is to be, within a block of mom and dad so that you have like grandma and grandpa down the road, then let that be the priority and realize the rest will come. A house that is a good fit for you will show up. If you need to do some work to it to make it your own, fantastic. You can buy a new house and want to do work to it to make it your own. We've heard that a lot lately. My husband had a conversation with me and said, I don't understand why, and the why was somebody had bought a new house and they were ripping all the carpet out of it and putting in LVP. And you would go, why? Like, why? It's brand new. Well, I mean, they had dogs and they just did not want carpet in living areas, which is reasonable. They wanted to have it easy to maintain. Why didn't the builder do it? Well, the house was already too far along and they were going to make changes. If you want like specific things like that, you have to like have it far enough ahead of time, and most of the time with most builders in the process, for them to be willing to make that change order and do it. Also, they probably could do it cheaper themselves than what it would have costed for the builder to do it. Flip side is if the builder would have done it, it probably would have just been added into the cost of their house and it would have been part of their mortgage and it wouldn't have been cash out of pocket. But one a half dozen the other, right, at some point. And maybe they were at their limit for their mortgage. Maybe they couldn't go any higher. Maybe they couldn't add that extra in there to be able to close on the property. So sometimes there's a lot of different things going on, but my point is pick your priority. For this gentleman, it was, I just want to be next to my family. I just want to be close to them. And if it works, it works. And it did. So whatever your priority is, let that be the driving factor and realize like the rest will come. And sometimes buying a house doesn't have to be forever right now, right? It can be a great stepping stone. It can be a milestone. It can be a way to propel you forward for the future. All different things can come of buying a property and using it as a leverage point in the future, right? For example, these folks, they're military. They aren't going to stay there for forever. So do you think brother's going to stay there for forever if he really wants to be near his family? Probably not. He is a free spirit and blows like the wind. So when they move, he's probably going to move, whether he stays with them or goes back to like where home is, whatever the case may be. It was an experience for him. It was a time and place in this journey of life for him to experience. So sometimes, as much as buying a home is a huge transaction, it does not have to be so permanent, so serious, so calculated. It can be whimsical and fun and like, hey, this opportunity just came up and I'm going to take it. So I really appreciate that like it was a lighthearted conversation and a really neat like twist in my career to experience someone that literally just had this one purpose, and as long as it met this one criteria, he was good. He was golden, and we were able to make him happy and also like have a really fun time with it. It was really cool dynamic getting to hang out with, it was like two brothers that came into town. So the two brothers, the sister and the husband and the daughter. It was just really fun to see all of them together and in their element and getting to be a piece of that. When you get to see families like when they pick at each other and just have fun and figure out what their personalities are and who plays what role like with it amongst the family, it's a really cool thing to see. And it's also nice just to know that you are getting to like make something cool like that happen, like let these families be together and have a support system, because we know all too often in military life, the village is hard to find, right? The village is supposed to be there, but the village doesn't just come. And a lot of times it is hard to find your village whenever you are moving so often. So I love the fact that it was like built-in support. Uncle was right next door, worked from home, could be flexible, and they all got to hang and have a great time. So anyhow, here we are, July 2019. This is our first transaction in July, and it was a good one. And I hope that you stick around to hear more. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for being here and listening in on this episode of Closing Chapters with me. I truly enjoy putting this content together, and I hope that you enjoy it too. If so, could you like, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody you know that will enjoy it just as much as you did? Thank you so much.